In this video, we will reveal 10 fatal mistakes with olive oil that could cost you your life. These mistakes can lead to cancer, heart attacks, and serious problems with your intestines, liver, and pancreas. From improper storage to dangerous cooking methods, you'll be shocked to discover how something once considered healthy can turn into a hidden danger. Watch until the end to protect your health and avoid these deadly traps. Mistake 1. Frying olive oil at too high a temperature, risk of carcinogens. This is the most common mistake, and it has already cost the lives of many people around the world. Frying with extra virgin olive oil at high temperatures can lead to the development of serious and life-threatening diseases, including cancer of the stomach, intestines, liver, and pancreas. When olive oil is overheated and exceeds its smoke point, which is around 190 to 207 degrees Celsius, 374 to 405 degrees Fahrenheit, it begins to break down and release a compound called acrolein. Acrolein is a powerful carcinogen that can damage DNA and accelerate the growth of cancer. Scientific studies have confirmed that prolonged exposure to carcinogens like acrolein significantly increases the risk of developing cancer. For example, a 2017 study from the University of Leeds found that people who regularly consumed fried foods cooked in overheated oil had a 40% higher risk of stomach cancer. A striking example is the story of a well-known chef from Italy who used olive oil for frying in his restaurant for many years. Despite using high-quality ingredients and promoting healthy cuisine, he had to leave his profession after being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Doctors directly linked his illness to long-term exposure to carcinogens formed in overheated olive oil. To avoid such consequences, it's recommended to use extra virgin olive oil only for salad dressings, marinades, or adding to cooked dishes, never for frying. For high-heat cooking, refined olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil are safer choices. It's also crucial to monitor the oil's temperature while cooking, ideally using a kitchen thermometer. And never reuse frying oil, as each cycle of heating increases the number of harmful compounds. In conclusion, frying olive oil at high temperatures is not just a mistake, it's a deadly trap. Using oil properly helps preserve its health benefits and protects your body from harm. Mistake 2. Using rancid olive oil, risk of liver toxicity. You may have no idea just how dangerous this is. Rancid olive oil might seem harmless at first, but in reality it acts like poison, especially to the liver. Oxidized fats and free radicals, which accumulate in spoiled oil, begin to destroy liver cells. This leads to inflammation and the replacement of healthy tissue with fibrous scar tissue. Over time, this damage can result in cirrhosis, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, hepatocellular carcinoma, liver cancer, or even acute liver failure. A case from clinical practice involved a 55-year-old woman who had unknowingly used rancid olive oil for years. She developed chronic fatigue, pain in her right side, and unexplained weight loss. Eventually, doctors diagnosed her with cirrhosis of the liver. The cause? Long-term consumption of rancid oil as the main fat source in her diet. To protect yourself, always pay close attention to the smell, taste, and appearance of the oil. If it smells bad, tastes bitter, or looks cloudy, throw it away immediately. Store olive oil in a dark glass bottle away from heat and light, and once the bottle is opened, it's best to use it within 6 months. In summary, rancid olive oil is far more than just unpleasant. It's a deadly threat. Monitoring the quality and freshness of your oil is vital to protecting your liver and your life. Mistake 3. Using expired olive oil, risk of oxidized fats. When olive oil passes its expiration date, it loses its antioxidant properties and begins to accumulate oxidized fats, turning from a health food into a toxic substance. These oxidized fats can trigger oxidative stress in the body, damaging cell membranes, proteins, and DNA. Over time, this damage can lead to atherosclerosis, coronary artery disease, heart attacks, and stomach cancer. One medical case involved a 60-year-old man who had been using expired oil for several years. Eventually, he developed high blood pressure, constant chest pain, and severe fatigue. Examinations revealed advanced atherosclerosis and coronary artery disease. He required emergency surgery to install a stent and restore proper blood flow. Doctors linked his condition to the long-term use of expired olive oil. To avoid this, always check the date on the bottle and use the oil within 6 months of opening. Keep it in a cool, dark place, and never consume oil past its expiration, even if it seems visually fine. Using expired olive oil is not a way to save money. It's a serious health risk. It can damage your blood vessels, your heart, and your digestive system. Mistake 4. Using fake olive oil, risk of dangerous additives and trans fats. Fake olive oil is not just a scam, it's a threat to your life. These counterfeits are often diluted with low-quality oils and may contain trans fats, powerful carcinogens. This can lead to the development of stomach cancer, esophageal cancer, pancreatic cancer, heart attacks, strokes, and atherosclerosis. A real-life example involves a young man who was convinced he was leading a healthy lifestyle. He used olive oil daily in his cooking, unaware that it was fake. After a few years, he developed symptoms that included fatigue, abdominal discomfort, and heart issues. Doctors found early signs of stomach cancer and diagnosed atherosclerosis. The source of the problem was counterfeit oil loaded with trans fats. To avoid this danger, always purchase olive oil from trusted producers and reliable stores. Look for authenticity labels like DOP, Denominazione di Origine Protetta, or IGP, Indicazione Geografica Protetta. And be cautious of oil that's suspiciously cheap. Real olive oil simply cannot be produced at a low cost due to the complexity of its production and the quality of the raw materials. In conclusion, fake olive oil doesn't just waste your money, it can cost you your health. The hidden additives and trans fats inside counterfeit oils can silently destroy your body from within. Mistake 5. Adding olive oil to hot food immediately after cooking, risk of carcinogens. This one may seem harmless, but it can be deadly. When you pour olive oil onto hot food that's still above 150 degrees Celsius, 302 degrees Fahrenheit, the oil oxidizes rapidly. It forms lipid peroxides, toxic compounds that are known to cause cancer of the esophagus, stomach, colon, and pancreas. A study published in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute found that people who frequently added olive oil to hot dishes had a 30 to 40% higher risk of developing these types of cancers. A relevant case involved a married couple in the United States who were passionate about healthy eating. They cooked fresh meals every day and believed olive oil was a healthy addition, so they added it generously to soups and stews right after cooking. Years later, one of them was diagnosed with stomach cancer. Doctors traced the root cause to repeated exposure to oxidized compounds from hot oil contact. To stay safe, never add olive oil to food while it's still extremely hot. Wait until the dish cools to below 120 degrees Celsius, 248 degrees Fahrenheit. Ideally, use olive oil for cold applications such as salads, sauces, or as a finishing touch to cooled meals. In summary, adding olive oil to hot dishes may seem like a minor mistake, but it carries hidden and deadly consequences. Temperature control is essential for preserving your health. Mistake 6. Combining olive oil with foods that accelerate oxidation, risk of toxins. When olive oil is mixed with ingredients that oxidize quickly, like chopped vegetables or nuts, it can lead to the formation of lipid peroxides. These are toxic compounds that damage cells, promote DNA mutations, and can ultimately trigger diseases such as skin cancer, stomach cancer, lung cancer, arthritis, and chronic inflammatory bowel conditions. One real-life example involves a young woman who prepared healthy salads every day using sliced vegetables, nuts, and olive oil. Over time, her skin began to develop inflammation and irregularities. After medical evaluation, she was diagnosed with skin cancer. Doctors attributed the cause to a buildup of toxins from lipid peroxides in her everyday meals. To reduce this risk, it is important not to store salads containing oil, nuts, or chopped vegetables for too long. These dishes should be made fresh just before serving. Vegetables and fruits should be cut immediately before consumption, and nuts should always be fresh and stored properly, especially away from heat. In summary, what seems like a healthy combination may actually be hazardous if ingredients are left to oxidize. Always ensure the freshness of your components and avoid storing these mixtures for long. Mistake 7. Storing olive oil in plastic containers, risk of chemical contamination and cancer. Plastic might seem convenient, but storing olive oil in plastic bottles can have dangerous consequences. When plastic is exposed to heat or stored for long periods, it can release bisphenol A, BPA, a harmful chemical that disrupts hormones in the human body. BPA has been linked to breast and prostate cancers, infertility, and diabetes. One case involves a 45-year-old athlete from the United States who stored his cooking oil in a plastic bottle for years. Although he lived an active lifestyle and paid close attention to his nutrition, he began developing metabolic issues, fatigue, and reproductive problems. After medical testing, he was diagnosed with diabetes and hormonal imbalance. Doctors believed that long-term BPA exposure from the plastic container was a major contributing factor. To avoid this hidden threat, always store olive oil in dark glass or metal containers. Keep it away from direct heat and sunlight, and ensure it is sealed tightly. Proper storage conditions can protect the oil's integrity and your health. In short, plastic can silently poison your body. Never use plastic containers to store olive oil. Mistake 8. Using frozen and thawed olive oil. Risk of toxic chemical changes. Freezing olive oil may seem like a clever way to preserve it, but in reality, it can destroy the beneficial monounsaturated fats and antioxidants. Worse, it encourages the formation of lipid peroxides, toxic compounds that damage organs and accelerate disease. This increases the risk of stomach cancer, liver cancer, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and coronary artery disease. One woman in the United States, hoping to extend the shelf life of her oil, decided to freeze it. Months later, she began experiencing stomach discomfort and pain under her ribs. Doctors diagnosed her with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease that was progressing towards cirrhosis. The root of the problem? Improper storage. To avoid such outcomes, never freeze olive oil. Instead, store it in a cool, dark place and use it within 6 to 12 months after opening. Avoid buying in large quantities unless you're sure it will be used quickly. In conclusion, freezing destroys the molecular structure of the oil and turns something healthy into something harmful. Mistake 9. Using olive oil in the microwave. Risk of aldehydes and cancer. Microwave cooking with olive oil is extremely risky. Radiation from microwaves breaks down the oil's antioxidants and leads to the formation of aldehydes, dangerous compounds associated with lung and esophageal cancers, chronic lung inflammation, and cardiovascular disease. One American man believed he was making a healthy choice by using olive oil in the microwave every day. But after several years, he started to suffer from chest pain and shortness of breath. Eventually, he was diagnosed with early-stage lung cancer and signs of coronary heart disease. The use of oil in the microwave was suspected to be a major factor. To avoid this danger, never cook olive oil in the microwave. If you need to heat food quickly, use stovetop methods or baking at low temperatures. And use olive oil in cold applications or add it to food only after it's been cooked and slightly cooled. In short, microwaving olive oil strips it of all benefits and turns it into a source of toxins. Avoid this mistake for the sake of your health. Mistake 10. Long-term storage of food in olive oil. Risk of botulism. Storing herbs, garlic, or vegetables in olive oil without proper sterilization may seem like a harmless tradition, but it can lead to one of the deadliest foodborne illnesses, botulism. The bacterium Clostridium botulinum thrives in low-oxygen environments like oil, producing a toxin that causes muscle paralysis, respiratory failure, and death. A tragic example occurred in the United States when a family preserved garlic and peppers in olive oil. During a family dinner, several people fell ill within hours, experiencing difficulty breathing and paralysis. Doctors confirmed the diagnosis, botulism. Emergency treatment saved their lives, but the experience was a chilling reminder of how dangerous this mistake can be. To avoid such risk, always sterilize jars and lids if preserving food in oil. Use only fresh ingredients, refrigerate immediately, and consume within a few days. Never store oil-preserved foods at room temperature. In short, homemade oil infusions without sterilization are not just risky, they're potentially deadly. Follow proper canning procedures strictly. How to use olive oil safely. To make the most of olive oil's health benefits, it's important to follow a few simple rules. First, choose high-quality extra virgin olive oil, ideally marked with labels like DOP or IGP, and produced in countries with a strong olive growing tradition like Italy, Spain, or Greece. Second, store your oil in a dark glass bottle at a stable temperature between 15 and 20 degrees Celsius, 59 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, away from heat and light. Third, consume in moderation. 1 tablespoon contains about 120 calories, so overuse may lead to weight gain. Fourth, check freshness regularly. After opening, use within 6 to 12 months. Signs of spoilage include bitterness, a sharp smell, or a change in color. If any of these appear, discard the oil. Fifth, consider your individual health needs. Some people may have trouble digesting fatty acids, especially those with gastrointestinal issues, so consult a doctor if necessary. Finally, use olive oil where it retains its health properties, in salads, sauces, or added to dishes after cooking. It also works well in soups and grains once cooled slightly. So, how do you use olive oil? Do you agree with these guidelines? Share your thoughts in the comments, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.